across
in
our
the context in which you're operating there.
Exactly that. And so we've got sort of a time when hate crime has been escalated for sort of the last 2 or 3 years. On top of that, you've got the state threats, so sort of Iranian threats, other states like Russia trying to drive wedge issues into the country, and then sort of small p politics and protest groups have got more polarised and angry. And so both groups at the weekend have a track record of having an intimidatory effect on communities.
And have you got reasonable intelligence on numbers and things like that?
Numbers is really hard, isn't it?
So the numbers is the difficult bit. Yeah. We never would have expected to see the numbers we saw last September, so we have to work in essence that we're going to see that size and scale again. I would say anywhere from around 50,000 in the United Kingdom, and we're working on a base level of about 30,000 within the NACBA coalition protest.
But 50,000 could be 150,000.
What was it last year? I can't remember.
So it was around 150,000 for United Kingdom. They were protesting on their own that day. There wasn't another protest. There was a counter protest to them, but their event garnered about 150,000 coming into London. So it was difficult.
And so with that, sort of, if you think the United Kingdom, regardless of assume good intent of most people, regardless of that, you've got a track record of some sort of anti-Muslim, anti-migrant sort of type stuff. Sort of, we've made arrests at those protests, and we've had bits of violence, quite significant bits of violence at some of them. And then again, Palestinian Solidarity Campaign has been organising a series of protests again. Assume good motives for the vast majority, but we've had bills supporting Hamas and Hezbollah. We've had some pretty hateful stuff, and a pattern in the past of trying to sort of take marches past synagogues and taking addition away from. And so the effect on those communities is really significant.
And have you got routes for these two?
Yes, so the map in front of you, the lower map there, I can see what colleagues are covering it, but the red route that you can see is the route that the NACBA coalition will take, so that bottom map there. The blue route to the other side is the route that Unite the Kingdom will be following, and we'll be using public order conditions to keep them to that route and their form-up locations. And then NACBA intend to rally at Waterloo Place, and Unite the Kingdom will intend to rally at Parliament Square. So we're going to have a fairly sizable sterile area between the groups, but we're going to be using our public order conditions in a way perhaps we haven't done before, because we know the Public Order Act doesn't really put the onus on the organisers. So some of our conditions this time around are really putting the emphasis on the organisers to be responsible.
And have you got enough in the powers you've got on conditions to do what you need?
So on through, let me just... Can I introduce you to Jason? He's one of our most experienced CCTV operators.
Good morning, sir. Nice to see you. How are you?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Sadiq, how are you?
Good to see you.
So did you want to talk through the screens? Or would you like me to do it?
Please go ahead.
So what you're seeing is, obviously this is a bank of our CCTV screens, this is in
This is
operation
your
every day.
regular...
This is our regular CCTV operation. What we've got on the screens in front of you is a bank of different scenarios. So what you'll see there is coverage for the NACBA coalition route. On the screens to your right over here, we've got coverage for the United Kingdom route. And then we have some static cameras.
Have you got coverage of pretty well the whole route?
Pretty well of the whole route, but we are going to be using drones to give us that additional bit of coverage on both of our routes, so that the bits that we may be slightly blind to, where we could see potential clashes or flashes, we can have the drones overhead and make the best use of our technology.
And we have the technology to put temporary cameras up on lampposts and things if we don't have coverage for events, which occasionally happens.
And the quality of images is really amazing.
Oh, it's phenomenal, it's fantastic. So we still have our helicopters as our backup for sure.
Time looking, identifying what's going on.
That's correct, yeah. So I've been obviously part of the planning meeting very much from day one, so I've got a very good understanding of the day. We have, as Mum Hayes says, we have the routes planned here as well, and it is my job to monitor and listen and move those cameras. And so within the silver and the gold suite, they can sit there and the day will unfold in front of them. They can see what they want to see, and it's a moving storyboard of the day. So
Been done around us, so operationally it just gives us that additional front foot ability.
And how many people will you have in here tomorrow?
we'll have 2 people for one route, one for the other, and I've got another member of staff who's dealing with our crowd monitoring cell as well. So there'll be 3 of us operationally in here. This room is just set up for 2 people to work around.
So a bit like we do with Nottingham Carnival, we're going to have a crowd monitoring cell that will look at crowd density and give us an idea of where the crowds are building up, how we're moving people around, if we are seeing any points.
We have access to their cameras as well.
And do you cover the football crowds from here as well?
We can do, but particularly on that day, that's going to be done from Wembley.
Yes, so Wembley will have their own feeds, looking at their own footprint, but we can do that if we then stop something to emerging up there.
And you'll get early warning then if the football crowds are moving to join the protest.
That's what I was thinking, if you could see coming in from Euston or...
That's correct. So
something back from the game, I guess, might be more likely.
Yeah, so we monitor radio channels, our Met Ops channels as well, and it's also for us to sort of put any of the cameras that we...
Prime Minister, because there's so much going on in London and which creates so much risk, we're deploying one of our facial recognition vans out on Saturday. We're not putting it on a march, that would would sort of take a step too far.
When you say deploy them, well, it's ready to...
So to be out, so have it somewhere where we think it's going to be high footfall, picking up sort of criminals involved from probably on the march, but it's relevant to the policing plan for this as well. It's one way to get criminality out of the system.
Great majority of cases, occasional past some of the justice from process speeds it off to go and attack people in the other parts of the
Exactly, yeah.
So
Exactly. Because that's really important. The risk
Rachel Potter to borrow the dentist chair and drill.
That's what I'm going to do. Spending review, yeah, please. This is a new engagement.
Tell us more about it.
So yeah, absolutely amazing way of just getting more interaction with patients and putting the power back into their hands to understand about their treatment.
So people referred from the population, they can be brought in.
They can
So as long as they understand they're being seen by students.
Right.
This is why it's different to practice.
Can I guide you round to?
Does it get busier? Is it feeling busier?
At the moment, we are doing the self-referral more than the referral from the GPs.
Right.
We are mainly focusing on the pharmacy first and other services which we can, provide more to the people and then help NHS. People
That's part of Wes's plan.
How do you think it's going?
Yeah.
Is it going well?
Going to the GPs. Yeah, it's going well. Yes.
Going well because of the medical practice.
We have Nihal who's working.
Nihal, how long have you been here?
2 months.
Okay. Liking it so far?
Yeah, I am.
And have you always worked in pharmacy?
I have. I'm a lab technician. So
All right.
before this, I was working at the ICR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done my ACA, which
I think we do flu and COVID really, really well.
Yeah.
And I think our numbers are really good here. I think other vaccination services, if we look at like shingles, we look at shingles catch-up programs. We're doing an MMR program in the company as well, catch up on MMR. So all these.
So you'd say you could easily do that?
We can do a lot more services in vaccinations and things like that. I think
And where do you do your vaccinations? Do you?
We've got 2 consultation rooms.
Oh, so just straight in there.
Straight in the consultation room. So I think it's how do we bring healthcare back into the community, and I think that's the neighbourhood way of working. I think it's how do we do it, and we can do it really well and make it accessible for patients, and that's the key to it. It's what do we need to do to make it happen. That's the key.
Yeah, I think sometimes people underestimate the expertise that we have in pharmacy.
That's great.
Good. Okay. Hello, I'm Wes. How you doing? Hi, Wes. My name is Stephen. Really nice to meet you. Hello. Hello, Wes. Really nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Hi there. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Hello, Wes. Nice to meet you.
Who are waiting far too long on waiting lists. When they are presenting for care, they're not receiving the holistic care that they need. And as a result, we're seeing people, especially when you look at the numbers of on mental ill health, self-harm, attempted suicide. I think effective treatment in this area.
Break, if you like, in elective surgery. So these wards on here would not just pretty much receive the elective stuff. So on Saturday and Sunday, there's no further patients coming in, so you get a little bit of a breather. There's somebody on critical care who needs to step down, so straight into the ward. So on any given day, there will be 15 or so lists going on here at St James. On a Saturday, there might be 2 or 3. So the pressure's off. The competition for beds, you're not so worried.